Hi, this is Marvin Scrappy Mania, and today I'm going to scrap the last layout of my last double spread layout of my Heritage album. And my last video, I showed you this layout. And for this video, I'm doing my last page of the double spread album. I still have one more layout remaining. It's a single layout, and for this one, I have a special treatment or special technique that I want to use using the Martha Stewart family tree stamp, her new family tree stamp. I'm going to use that to scrap the last page. But this is the page that I'm going to do, my last double spread. And for this, I have tons of pictures. These are all the pictures that I'm going to, for my double spread. And I created an extra page, an 8x8. So these are the pictures that's going to be in my 8x8. And the 8x8 is, if you recall the last video, I showed you how because I had a lot of pictures, I showed you how I added another additional 8x8 sheet to accommodate for the extra pictures that did not fit in my double spread layout. So let me go ahead and get started. So what I'm using is the Heritage stack from Die Cut with a View. And I've done, the whole album was done with this paper pad. And I have tons of paper left over. So you can easily create 2 or 3 albums, 20 pages album with this paper. I think the remainder of the paper I'm going to give them away. But this is my last double spread. And so let me go ahead and get started. I want to use my new mini 8 punch that I got from from HSN. And I got a set of 4. So it's from We Are Memory. And I have a set of 4. So I want to go ahead and use this to create the layout. So for this, but when you're using the double 8 mini 8 or the mini 8 punch with the border punch, you need to cut your papers into 4, 6, what is it, in even numbers. You do it for increments of 2 inches. So to combine the 2 punch, you need to create pages in 8, 10, 12, an increment of 2 inches or larger. So I have 8x8 and I have a 12x12. So let me go ahead and punch out my 8x8s and my 12x12s. And I already went ahead and stitch. These are the 2 papers that I'm going to use for my base page. And I already did the stitching around the edges. As well, I did the same thing in this one. I decided to use the same color for my 8x8. So you take your 12x12 and you're going to punch out the 4 corners first, like you see there. Then after you complete that, you're going to turn your paper over and then punch again 4 corners. And now you're ready to use your border punch. I'm going to take my border punch and I'm going to go ahead and move this lever here to the border punch instead of this will make it that'll punch both sides. And if you put the lever down that's going to be pointing to this, it's going to just allow you to punch one side. So notice how only one side engages. If I put it all the way over, you'll see that both sides engages. So I'm going to bring it back to 1. And then it does have this blue marking here, so you're going to go ahead and match it. So I'm going to go ahead and match. Align it with the blue here. So as you can see, I'm going to align it with the blue. Make sure you have enough space to do this. And punch down. Then once you align it on the circular side, you align it with the blue marking. Then on the straight edge, I'm going to go ahead and align it with the silver marking. So make sure it's nice and aligned with the silver marking. And then you're going to go ahead and align down here again with the blue marking. Oh, and I missed a spot there, so that's easy to fix. Go ahead and align the silver. And there you have it. Gonna do the same thing on this side. So you repeat the same step as what I showed you above for all the edges of your doily. So now we're ready to assemble our page, and I cut the 12 by 12 doily down to about 3/4 of the way, just took a quarter off, and I'm placing it on the right hand side of my base page. And now I'm just doing some sewing on the edges, and I'm just taping down the tails of my thread. So this doily that you see there was actually an 8 by 8, and I placed that on the left hand lower hand, and then I put that strip, which is part of the paper, and that tag that you see on that picture. Click on the link on the video that you see here, and it will take you to the video where I showed you how to create those tags using regular office clips. So here I'm just creating some clusters. All these clusters are from the paper. And of course I have to put my feather, because this album, the common element of this album is it has stitching around the edges, it has rounded corners, it has some distressing ink on the edges, and also it has a feather, 2 feathers somewhere, either on one page or in both pages. So I'm done with this page. So I just want to show you the clusters that I have created. So there's my flower, my feather. There's a stamp. That's a Heidi Swapp stamp. And then my tag, it's on that picture. So now I'm moving on to the second page. And what I'm doing off camera is creating my some of the clusters I'm creating off camera. So now I'm just placing the doily. Now I decided that I didn't really want to take a 12 by 12 and create the same effect as my first page. So for interest, I kind of changed it up a little bit. I cut the doily down to 10 by 10, and then I placed it there on the page. But as you can see, most of the photo is going to cover that doily, but that's okay. That'll be fine. So now I'm just creating a cluster with all the embellishments from the paper pad. And I put the owl there because I didn't really want to, I wanted to use the hand, pointing hand, but I did not want to have that 24, that number 24 there. So then that's why I cut the owl from one of the paper from the pad and just placed it there. So there I'm putting that doilies also from the paper pad, and I'll also put the same doily. I'm going to be placing that underneath. And then I kind of needed something for that doily, so that's why I went back to my tin that I have a lot of cut aparts from the paper pad. And I'm just looking for pieces to kind of fill in the gaps. So moving on to the last page of my double spread, which is the 8 by 8. And then that piece that you see there is actually come from the paper pad. I cut out the squares out of the film strip that was within the image of that paper. And I just placed my pictures behind the film strip. And I like the look, it looked pretty good. So now I'm just placing a lot of my original photos with Photo Tab, and I'm just putting some banners. And I'm using that chandelier to kind of help give some more height and fill in the gaps between the banners and my cluster there. So I'm just cutting off the excess on the edges of my flower here. And then I'm going to use a stamp. It's going to say, and that's a Heidi Swapp stamp. And also I'm going to use that hand that's part of the paper pad. Final layout, and as you can see, there's my clusters. Now those little beads there, that looks almost like candy dots. And they're very dimensional. If you can see them, they're very dimensional. And this one is created with this thing that's called White Tulip beads in a bottle. So you get like 5 colors in the kit. And it's pretty inexpensive, especially if you have a 40% coupon. I got this at Joann's, and it came out for about $5, $1 a bottle with the coupon. And then the sparkle, or the glitter that you see here, and if you can see, it's very shiny. It was with this nail polish, which is glitter nail polish. And that's what I use for that flower. And this is also inexpensive in the dollar store. And the reason why I like to use nail glitter, because I like the brush, and then I can brush a light coat of glitter instead of big globs of glitter that sometimes you get when you use glitter glue or anything like that. So that's the reason why I like the nail polish a little better. The only thing you have to be careful with nail polish is that it's not acid free, so you cannot put this in anything that's going to be close to the picture. And as you notice, I only put it on this flower, but what's touching the pictures is actually the paper underneath. And these are not original, and that's why I didn't, it's okay for me to use that there. So here's the other cluster. And all these stamps that you see here, Family and Cherish, they're Heidi Swapp stamp that I bought a long time ago in Target. They were like $1. And there's that cluster. And then these are what I showed you how to create these tags with a clip. And then there's the other version of the tag with the other type of clip. And then this is the last, the 8x8. And I hope you like this tutorial, and thank you for watching. Bye.